Good evening. I'm honored to introduce the next Reach Award winner. I've had the pleasure of learning with Dr. Jackie Samuel over the past 5 years. I've seen her in action in the classroom, in the community, as an organizer, as a researcher, as an advocate. Jackie came to National Louis already with a wealth of life experience and passion to contribute to her community. Jackie's performing arts and arts education background ranges from appearing in feature films and Chicago theater to having contributed to 2 books. Jackie excelled in our Masters of Public Policy program and then chose to continue on to complete her Ph.D. in community psychology. Her dissertation examined community block clubs, which I remember that Jackie calls the first level of city government. Her study was a springboard for the current successes that she's had in bringing together local residents, businesses, nonprofits, city agencies, healthcare institutions, and universities in South Chicago to focus on reducing gun violence. Seeing her ability to advocate with elected officials, with academics, neighborhood residents, and garner respect from all types of people is truly inspiring. Dr. Jackie Samuel is one of our community psychologists. She embodies NLU's core values of passion, collaboration, engagement, inquiry, and innovation. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Jackie Samuel.
Oh boy, this was probably the hard part, trying to figure out what am I going to say. I have so much to say, and I'm just really grateful and just thankful for this honor. It means so much for me. First of all, I want to thank National Louis University for this honor, to Dr. Suzette Fromm-Reed, Dr. Bradley Olson, and Dr. Judah Viola for nominating me and giving me the tools that help me serve and see the community that I work in a different light. And I want to thank my friends for always checking in on me, LaDonna, the Claretian Associates for always trusting my new ideas and strategies with love. One day I turned our reception area into an art gallery. And Angela says, just don't put any nails in the walls. And I was like, okay, I won't. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And it was the community artists that were featured in our lobby. So they've learned to tolerate me. And if someone had asked me if I was ever going to consider going back to school 10 years ago, I would have laughed in your face and I would have said, no way. And mind you, I cannot fool myself by seeing my big sister and brother-in-law receiving their doctoral degrees, and it had a huge influence on me. But I also know what guided my decision, my biggest role model, my mother. Raise your hand, Mom. Raise your hand, because believe me, I did not make her menopause easy during my adolescence. And I did not get this degree for her. I got this degree because of her. All of my life, I have been amazed by this woman. She has always lived her life challenging herself, challenging me, challenging my sister. And believe me, we could not get our Easter outfit unless we were in the Easter program. Thus, that's where theater came from. And she was raised on a farm in the South. She ran track, she played basketball, and she graduated from Tuskegee Institute. Therefore, you could see she was still, we are going to college. In my youth, she would make hats, dresses, she would model. She stepped up in a flawless fashion when my father passed. And when she retired 3 times as a teacher, she was a teacher, I was still just a little envious as she received her master's degree with my big sister. So I had to make sure she witnessed me defending my dissertation. And even today, at 91 years old, she exercises, line dances, and she also tap dances. So last Friday, we at Claretian Associates in the Villa Guadalupe, we just had our Cinco de Mayo health fair for the seniors. So my mother tap dances in the program, and she looks at me and she says, "Oh, I gotta hurry up and tap dance, but when I finish this, I'm gonna go over and go to line dancing, so I'll see you all later, okay, bye-bye." I can't keep up with her. However, what you must know is what really drove me to go back to school. It was the results of the inequities in the society driven by racism and poverty that piqued my interest in community psychology. My question, how do we heal community? How do you heal a community from seeing an Arnold Morales gunned down because he stood up for gangs? And what about the little girl in our community named Nene that was ready to go back to school after Labor Day weekend but lost that chance to a bullet? I was talking to a teenager that lives in the community, and he said he had expressed to me that he had been shot 3 times in the leg. And I asked him about his well-being and what was going on in school, and he said, "School? I don't know about school that much." He says, "Because when I do go, I'm wondering about why am I still alive and how am I going to get home safe?" So last summer, I surveyed 126 people in the community to better understand the impact of violence in the community that I serve. And I learned that 51% had witnessed a shooting. And all I could think of is, if you had to live with that kind of trauma, then what must your life look like? Walking to the store for a bottle of milk and looking over your shoulder and making sure that someone is not out there to harm you? Can't go to the park? Can't sit in the car? Then this past January, this one girl in the community, Sakina, my only community girl that could handle the boys playing basketball, was ambushed by a spray of bullets. So you don't understand. She was my hope. She was the glimpse of what my mother must have been like on that basketball court in her youth. Just taken. Never to see another day again. How do you heal a community? You have to visit them. You have to go to the epic academies and say, "I am here to help. What do you need?" We have to educate ourselves in understanding emotional trauma. What about the emotional trauma, that 13-year-old that stabbed that other little girl? What's going on with all of that? How do we heal community? Where are our morals? That we don't stand for our children and our legacies. This is something that we have to think about. And so as we work together at Claretian Associates, we're looking at issues around trauma in our communities. We're going to be one of the few trauma-informed communities in which we're going to work and think differently. How do we treat our residents? Because if we don't, how are they going to go to school? How are they going to have the opportunity to go to National Louis? How are they going to have the opportunity to keep a job if they are witnessing 51% of shootings? We have to think about that. National Louis has just released a tiger because as a double alumni, I will not sit here and tolerate the injustices of the world because National Louis has strengthened my voice. Oh, and how do you heal a community? By providing a sense of safety, well-being, and belonging. Come join me. Thank you.